This is Matrix Lord 212, and a very interesting article popped up on Blog Who concerning Stephen Moffat explaining why the Doctor can never go back and save Amy and Rory, and why Amy and Rory can never try to meet up with the Doctor or leave New York. So I'm going to read it to you. The theory is called the Washington theory. And last year, Dan Martin took time to chat with Stephen Moffat about the Series 7 Part 1 finale, Angels Take Manhattan. He says that Dan asked the current showrunner, why could Amy and Rory not just travel to Washington or Boston or anywhere for that matter to meet the Doctor there? Had Moffat left a useful plot thread dangling to bring the beloved companions back in a couple of years? Not so, according to Moffat. He says New York City would still burn. The point being, he can't interfere. There's the fan answer. Here's the fan answer that is not what you would ever put on the BBC One, because most people watch the show and just think, well, there's a gravestone, so obviously he can't visit them again. But the fan answer is, in normal circumstances, he might have gone back and said, look, we'll just put a headstone up or write a book, but there is so much scar tissue and the number of paradoxes that have already been inflicted on the nexus of timelines that it would rip apart if you try to do one more thing. He has to leave it alone. Normally he could perform some surgery, but this time too much surgery has already been performed. But imagine saying that to the BBC One. Moffat also admitted that he changed the ending several times before filming his final draft, stating, to be honest, they were all quite similar. There was a slightly more involved version, which put River slightly more central. But I sort of realized I was trying to tell about 4 stories when 2 was quite enough. So I trimmed it down. Increasingly, the point of the story is the Doctor doesn't really do anything for the second half, except more or less complain and try to stop everything working. Let me just move this down a little bit. Okay. Let's see. Obviously, there was a point when he wasn't like that, but I realized that was the story. Once he realized he can't escape the fact she's going to leave him, he becomes sort of useless. That's the drama. And the dramatic heart of Doctor Who is very rarely the Doctor finds himself, because he's the man who fixes everything. This time, he's the man to whom it happens, and makes him interesting in a different way. An amazing performance by Matt Smith as well. And about the return of the Ponds, Moffat said, you can never eliminate the possibility of dream sequences and flashbacks, but will the Doctor see them again? No. When I was first talking to Karen and Arthur about it, we said, let's make it a proper ending. Bringing back things just gives you sequelitis. Just end it and get out. Heaven knows if they'll appear in some form of flashback, but I have no plans to do that. And I have to say that the story of Amy and the Doctor is definitely over. Wow. So the only paradox in that statement is the fact that River Song did visit Amy and Rory one more time to make her put a footnote in the book. So that throws that out the window about worrying about, destroying the timeline. And the whole fact that New York City had just time distortions everywhere really makes no sense. So I would like to see why. I mean, he can't even travel New York at all now. So I want to see why that's the case, and what would happen if that happens all over the Earth. Would he be banned from traveling on Earth? So I'm not sure if I'm crazy about that answer, because it still doesn't make sense to me, because she traveled with the Vortex Manipulator, River Song, and she said with the Vortex Manipulator she can travel around. So what would it do? So I don't know if that theory holds water. So I just wanted to bring that to you. That was coming from Blog Who. And hopefully that's Moffat's final answer on Amy and Rory. I tend to think that that's nonsense, but that's me. Take care. Bye for now.